Anime recap: a girl and a boy teams up to become a Pokemon master. Liko arrives at a bus station to begin her first day at Indigo Academy. On the way, she meets two girls and tries to befriend them, but is too nervous to do so and the opportunity slips by. Once the bus arrives, the two girls are watching a stream by Nidathing, who Liko is also a fan of but still too nervous to introduce herself to them. She meets many Pokemon and is amazed by them before the bus stops at the academy, where she heads to room 303 and finds someone inside, scaring her as she runs out. The person inside introduces herself as An, who reveals that she has never been outside of Kanto, while Liko tells her that she's never been outside of Paldea either. At the academy grounds, many students are busy tending to their Pokemon, while another two are in a battle. One trainer's Machop uses Dynamic Punch on another trainer's Espeon, who uses Reflect and follows up with Psychic to win the battle, and is excited about the entrance ceremony as they would pick their partner Pokemon, scaring Liko as she is unsure as to which one to pick, having done online interviews with the staff. A Charmander greets the two, only for its trainer to pick it up. That night, Liko writes about her experiences before going to sleep. The following day, as the ceremony concludes and classes are taken, the new students pick their partner Pokemon, and picks Oshawott, while Liko ends up picking Sprigatito. Liko is charmed by Sprigatito's cuteness, but it rebukes her and wanders off, causing her to chase after it. During the process, she goes over a roof railing, but the two fortunately fall onto a Snorlax lying below before it goes off again. Liko has a rough time bonding with Sprigatito but hopes she can understand it in the future. The next day, Anne and Liko have a Pokemon battle, though it ends up being inconclusive after Oshawott manages to hit Sprigatito with Water Gun. That night, Liko and Sprigatito sneak out to practice using Leafage to no avail, and they sneak back in the dorms. As Liko writes about the day's events and looks at a strange pendant, and surprises her, and asks what it is. Liko tells her that her grandmother had given her the pendant, though she does not wear it as she felt too young to do so. Liko decides to study Sprigatito to understand it better. A few days later, a group of people arrive at the academy to look for Liko for reasons unknown, though they are initially unable to find her. The academy has a short break, and then takes the time to go visit her family, while Liko decides to remain at the academy for the time being. Another person arrives at the academy and asks a faculty member for Liko, claiming to have written permission. Liko comes out and the man introduces himself as her grandmother's messenger, giving her a letter. Sprigatito is immediately agitated by the man as Liko takes the letter and leaves. Both Liko and Sprigatito are immediately suspicious of the man's intentions, who had followed her and knocked on the door, startling her. Liko decides to sneak out just as he comes in, leaving him exasperated as he gives out an order to secure the area. As Liko and Sprigatito try to sneak out, the man's associates spot her and give chase, with her running into one of them and his Rhydon. Liko orders Leafage, which Sprigatito uses, but has no effect. The man laughs and claims that they never win with such a pitiful move, causing Liko to realize that she doesn't need to win. She orders another Leafage, which lands on Rhydon's eyes. Sprigatito then jumps on Rhydon and emits a sweet scent, causing it to fall asleep as the two make a run for it. The advantage is short-lived as the three corner her, only for a man with pilot goggles and Charizard drop down to intercept. Both men claim to have business with Liko, so they decide to settle with a battle. The suited man calls out a Cerulege, while the pilot uses Charizard. The two Pokemon clash and begin to damage the academy, causing Liko to try and escape to get the men away from the academy. The suited man, spotting her, orders Cerulege to use Psycho Cut to stop them, but just before it hits, a strange shield envelopes both her and Sprigatito. Liko and Sprigatito open their eyes and find a mysterious Pokemon before them, who suddenly reverts to its amulet form. Liko manages to pick it up before she and Sprigatito fall down, but the goggled man manages to catch her with his Charizard. The goggled man then tells the suited man that they would continue their battle next time as he flies off. The man's associates then asks him what they should do. Amethio states that they'll pursue them. The associates take out their skarmory, while Amethio takes out a corviknight and fly in pursuit. Liko wonders where the pilot is taking her when they arrive at a massive flying carrier, where the other members greet him as Friede, asking him how he managed to bring Liko along. Sprigatito starts to bond with Rockruff before a wild Palmy and Fuecoco join in. Liko asks why there are Paldine Pokemon, and the man tells her that they have other Pokemon settled in too, such as a Snorunt, Noctowl, and Shuckle. Friede soon spots 3 unknown entities closing in on them, realizing that they must be the people chasing after Liko earlier. The group sets off to gain distance and head into a storm system. Amethio's associates take notice of this and asks what they should do. He orders them to continue, as they couldn't afford to lose her. He tells them to make use of the ship so they wouldn't be caught in the winds, successfully boarding the ship. Seeing this, Friede is forced to confront them and prepares to do so. Amethio and his associates approach Liko and the other Pokemon, who are scared of them. Amethio tells Liko that he had originally wanted the pendant alone, but after seeing how it reacted to Liko, tells her that they'll be taking her too. Not wanting to get the other Pokemon hurt, Liko agrees to go with him. As they approach the wing deck, Friede confronts them. The two properly introduce each other and their affiliations, the Rising Volt Tacklers and Explorers respectively, though Friede stops Amethio from leaving with Liko. Unable to use Charizard since it was powering the ship, Friede uses Pikachu instead, though Amethio is unimpressed as he brings out Ceruledge again. Pikachu starts with Thunder Punch, which Ceruledge parries. Friede has it use Double Team and what appears to be another Thunder Punch, which Ceruledge stops with Psycho Cut and Bitter Blade, though Pikachu is revealed to be on the top of the ship and gathers electrical energy for a Volt Tackle, ramming into Ceruledge. Amethio orders another Psycho Cut, but it ends up missing and strikes the other Pokemon. Liko, not wanting anyone to get hurt, asks them to stop, but Sprigatito jumps off her, causing her to realize that she had been lying to herself. Sprigatito unleashes an unusually powerful leafage, causing the explorers' Pokemon to protect their trainers. The powerful leafage ends up destroying the barrier surrounding the wind deck in the process. Friede manages to catch Liko, but is unable to do so for Sprigatito, who slides off the ship. However, Amethio calls his Corviknight and manages to catch Sprigatito, and taking the advice of his associates, orders a retreat with Sprigatito in tow, leaving Liko crying out for it. Liko has a flashback of when she received the pendant from her grandmother, and why she received it in the first place. As she wakes up, she heads out of the cabin and is met by the other members of Friede's crew. Friede himself soon arrives and she asks him if he found any leads on the explorers, who tells her that he managed to trail them to a port. Liko wants to go to reclaim her partner, but Friede reminds her that she has no Pokemon to begin with. Friede then states that her mother had hired him and his crew to protect them, much to Liko's surprise, only for the others to realize that he hadn't told her either. Arriving at an unknown city to dock, Friede and Murdoch go out to find leads on Sprigatito. Orla stays behind to fix the ship, while Molly asks Liko to go with her to buy some potions. When they get there, Molly pushes the order onto Liko, who goes into the Poke Center and gives the receipt to Nurse Joy. Ludlow, who is fishing, senses something and catches a Magikarp, though Zir is also revealed to have been spying. While waiting on the order, Liko watches a stream by Nidathing, who likewise is talking about the Pokemon Center and its services. Just then, a girl with an injured Vulpix rushes in, so Nurse Joy asks Liko if she could wait on the order. Liko agrees and the girl tells her that because she couldn't command her Pokemon properly, it got hurt. This makes Liko worried for Sprigatito's safety. Contrary to her thoughts, Sprigatito is instead being treated well by Konia, who had taken a liking to it. As she tells it she would go off to buy more food, Amethio catches her by surprise. Konia tells him what she was doing, but Amethio dismisses it, as he does not want to use Sprigatito as a bargaining chip, since their main target is Liko's pendant. Zir informs him that the Rising Volt tacklers had arrived, prompting Amethio to wonder how they mean to attack. Nurse Joy and her Chansey healed the injured Vulpix before delivering the order to Liko. Liko takes the order out, while Konia had gone shopping for Sprigatito. She is interrupted by Murdoch's Rockruff, and Liko, hearing its barks, heads off to investigate, leaving the order in Molly's hands. Konia, surprised that she had been discovered, flees, knocking a passerby in the process, prompting Murdoch to tend to. She informs Amethio of the discovery, who tells her to lure the group to the warehouse. At the same time, Zir had planted a tracking device on the brave Asagi and is told to pull back. Friede asks Liko to go back to the ship as a battle would be inevitable, but Liko is determined to get Sprigatito back. On the way, Friede has a plan and informs Liko of it, who agrees. Arriving at the warehouse, they meet Amethio and make a deal. If Friede won, Amethio would give Sprigatito back, whereas if he won, Liko and the pendant would come with him. Bringing out his Ceruledge again, Friede uses Captain Pikachu. Pikachu goes for Double Team and Thunder Punch, while Ceruledge dispels the clones with Night Slash. Aware of the battle plan, Amethio has Ceruledge use Phantom Force to dodge the punch and hit Pikachu in the process. Friede randomly asks Amethio if he would let him go if he gave her Liko's pendant, but he calls him out on his claim, as he also needed Liko to activate it. As Friede and Amethio fight, Liko and Rockruff find Sprigatito and free it. On the way, they run into Konia, who asks Sprigatito to come with her, but it refuses. In response, she calls out her Skarmory, telling Liko that she has no chance of winning as grass types are weak against flying types. Reminded of her encounter with Zir, Liko has Sprigatito use Leafage, which is enough to blind Konia and Skarmory. When the dust settles, she realizes that she had been duped as they had all fled in the aftermath. Back at the warehouse roof, Friede and Pikachu are cornered, but when Sprigatito's Leafage emerges behind him, Amethio realizes that Friede had simply distracted him before he leaves on his Charizard. Back on the ship, Liko tells Sprigatito that the crew put its safety first over the pendant, and decides to join them on their adventure. Friede states that they'll need some money from her mother first, causing the others to comment on him ruining the mood. Liko also remote calls and then informs her of her new adventure, deciding to attend classes remotely, and wishes Liko luck on her new adventure. At another island, Roy wakes up and goes out on an adventure of his own. As he heads to the shore, he finds a banner of the Rising Volt tacklers and sets off to find treasure. And this brings the anime to an end. Comment for part 4, don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends. Also, subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell, so you never miss out on another anime recaps videos. Tags in this video including anime recap, anime recaps, anime recapped, uniplot, Ninetales recaps, unicapped, unicap, raccoon recap, recapcoon, unclimax, yahello, unirecaps, and pianime.